This is the story of Claw, the biggest deer that I've ever killed.
It's the first time I've ever seen this buck.
100% that it was Claw.
We got him. I can't believe it.
This is one of the best years Huntmasters has ever had for big bucks on all of our farms here in Illinois. We came into this year with an age class which is going to allow these deer to express their genetic potential, but we had the early rains in the spring. We had all the big tine food plots in early. The clover really performed well, and of course the agricultural fields, the corn and the soybeans, they all add to the nutrition these deer need to grow big. And all the TSI work that we've been investing in for years now paid huge dividends with these spring rains. So this is what you want to grow a healthy deer herd. Right here, this new tissue growth. This is foundation clover by Big Tine. It's all over the farm. Most of the edges of a field, we planted clover, not only from a transition strip, but it gives you 9-10 months of good, nutritious food. The key though is to keep it mowed. On a year like this, when it rains a lot, you can cut it almost every 10 days. You know, typically it'll go dormant during the summer months when you don't have a lot of rain, but this year it has been absolutely epic. These warm season grasses, there's actually trees in there. We planted these, I think we're going on year 5 right now. So a couple years ago, I killed a buck named Rover. This is why we planted all this habitat down here. This used to be a 12-acre ag field, and it leads these deer through these transitions up through the hardwoods and then into the ag field, which is where I killed Rover. It's just an ideal setup, but it takes commitment. It takes years to build these ecosystems, but when you do, you definitely can grow bigger deer, hold more deer on your property, and ultimately control where they go. always been a good hub of rut activity. Right at sunrise, we had 3.5-year-old 8-pointer making rubs, making a scrape in the creek bed. And just that a little bit of activity attracted 4 other bucks. 2-year-and-a-half-olds, 3, probably 2 3.5-year-olds as well. One beautiful white or 9-point. He's going to be something in the future. Came right down here at 14 yards. This is the kind of place when everything settles down. I'll get the antlers and crack them together. There's no telling what could show up. It's just a rut corridor. But for some reason, historically, all these deer want to rut here. And there's just a series of scrapes. There's probably half a dozen of them within probably 50 yards of this stand. We're definitely in the honey hole today. Pretty productive morning. It was 11 bucks and 5 does and fawns. Pretty good set for middle of October right now. A lot warmer out than I would like. It's in the 70s right now, but this heavy wind we have, which is 20-30 miles an hour, is actually blowing a cold front end. So what we're hoping is these deer are going to get up and want to feed on the front end of this cold front. Confident in this setup tonight. Claw has hit these scrapes 3 nights in a row. Last night was daylight. We have a combination of corn, beans, big time foundation clover to bring the does in. So what we're hoping is as he starts to move his pattern earlier, he's going to come out and hit these scrapes and then check to see any does are receptive. Wind is kind of marginal, but we're set up in the grizzly blind running the power vent. So I feel we have a lot of things in our favor tonight. Surprisingly, these deer started moving almost 3 hours before dark. It's been a steady flow right now, mostly does and fawns, a few young bucks, and of course, in this phase in the rut, these young bucks, they're bumping the does and then they clear the field, then another wave of does comes through, then another young buck comes through. We haven't seen anything over probably 2 years old. But we have another 30 minutes or so here before dark. Things are starting to calm down a little bit. So my hopes are high that we're going to have a more mature buck step out here before dark. I've ever seen claw on the hoof. 7.5-year-old buck. Hundreds of trail camera photos of him. I don't know how after all these years we have never seen him. He is impressive. One of the biggest frames that I've seen on this farm yet. His beams have to be at least 25 inches long, maybe longer. Wide, over 20 inches for sure. Lots of character, but he is smart. He knew something was up. He got right in front of that Reconyx camera. I don't know whether the wind swirled or the deer over here got spooky, but he just turned, went back the way he came. The good part is, it's a big piece of the puzzle we put together. We're in his core right now. We're just gonna have to wait it out and see what happens. Nearing the peak of the rut right now. We're trying to find these bucks or any deer is getting to be really challenging. These bucks are just roaming anywhere. Their home range now is quadrupled in size. It's been oddly quiet this morning. Temperatures a little bit warmer than what you'd like, but we got a massive cold front coming in this weekend. So I think Sunday or Monday, we're gonna see everything hit that peak. See all of the chasing going on. So all we gotta do is ride this wave right to the peak of the rut. I can just see the tips of his tines. Just he looked heavy. I'm not 100% sure, but definitely a buck. He's up above her right now. He just ran up above. See him going through the timber. Yeah, that's claw. I'm 90% sure that's him. No, I know. I can just see the doe. Here he comes, here he comes. He's gonna come through that opening. Yeah, that's him. Together. I saw a flash down this bottom and a donut fawn had come through, I don't know, 20 minutes earlier. The doe comes running down the hill, mouth open. I looked up the hill and I could just see this heavy beam. I was pretty confident that was claw. And then
He circled up above the doe and came back 100% that it was claw, and he was just bumping her. We had this young 8-point bedded down below us. So I hit my grunt call a couple times. Claw came off the doe, headed our way. Strangely, he fed on some acorns for a little bit. I don't know whether the wind swirled or he figured something wasn't right, and he just moved off. So close.
We're in the peak of the rut right now, what a lot of people call lockdown. So what you're hoping right now is that the doe's gonna drag the buck with her, or the buck breeds her, and then he starts looking for the next doe. So we're gonna spend the next 2 or 3 days not seeing a lot of deer. When they break free, they're vulnerable. What a fun morning today's been. The bucks are just trickling through. Any doe that comes through, the next buck that comes by is just scent checking them, smelling their footsteps, traveling in the same path that they left. Anytime you have these high ridge tops here, it's just a focal point for these bucks to cross over like a saddle or run down the ridge trying to cut a doe's track. At any time, you just never know when a new buck's gonna show up. Opening day of deer season here in Illinois, there's nothing like it. New Year's Day, start of the new year, but the last run of our whitetail season. It's definitely been a roller coaster. The buck that we're after, his name's Claw. He has been a ghost, but 3 days ago he showed up on this cut corn, and then since then, have no idea, but he's relocated at least that one night, a half mile from where we saw him before. So don't know whether he just circled through, checked some does out, stretched his legs, whatever, and then went back home, or whether he settled into this area. What makes me believe he's moved back here is this is where he summered. Literally in that timber to the east is where he spent most of the summer. So I'm thinking now that the testosterone's gone, that they're 100% back to feeding, that he's moved back into his original core area. Wind's good tonight, we'll see what happens. Good Lord, there's a lot of deer coming.
young bucks, about 50-50 buck to doe ratio, which is really interesting. Normally this farm is about 3 to 1, but we've been trying to bring the doe population down, balance it out, so it's starting to pay some dividends right now. Winds turned around to the northeast, shift the blind positions at this time of year, not knowing where claw really is living. All we're gonna do is keep playing the wind and kind of stay in his, what we consider a score bubble right now, and that's perfect for this stand location tonight. So we'll see. Coming in, we bumped about 8 does already out feeding, so I think we're gonna see these deer move early tonight. Oh, long beards. I'm not a fan of turkeys in the fall. They just create such a ruckus. I think it really disturbs these deer when they feed. Right now they're just fighting, harassing one another. Just a big group of toms. If it happens here, it's gonna be a long shot. These deer spread out everywhere. There's really not a focal point. What is he doing over there? What's he doing? He's going out to the big field. Oh, he's gonna come behind the blind. He's coming fast. Coming fast. What in the world? I don't get it. Claw came out in the clover over there, foundation clover. Makes sense. Warm, it's feeding. But normally he comes to this corn right behind us. We had some deer over here to the west. When he hit this open field here, you can see the road along there. He just started trotting. You know, he didn't get our wind, but he got my wind over here. I mean, he acted like he was shot. I had no opportunity. He knows he's being hunted now from here. It's not good. When he got my wind there, he actually dropped. So I'm looking at him through the scope like he had been shot or shot at. And he whirled and he ran right to the end and then he bailed down to this bottom. I'm just gonna get out of here. He knows he's being hunted now. That's not good. He's way too smart a deer. I think we just blew the spot for at least, I don't know, at least a week or so. He ain't coming back.
Well, we're down to the last week of the season. Week ago, had a great encounter with Claw. Unfortunately, he came behind the blind within range and he got my wind, never got a shot opportunity. So instead of pushing and trying to pursue him for the week, especially with the temperatures coming in, Rob and I took one day, went around, reset all the cameras to try to gain as much intel as possible, let the entire farm rest. No activities on the farm at all. Now with the cloud cover coming in, some colder temperatures, and we're down to the last few days of the season, this is it. This is a world-class animal. We call him the Ghost because I've only seen him 3 times this year. Hopefully I'm gonna see him one more time, but prior to that, nobody has ever seen him. But I have a feeling when he comes within range, judging by that shot right there, I'll put him down with the mission crossbow. I just hope I get the opportunity. The end of the year, these deer are just so fragile. A week ago, we had a Claw come out of this timber here to the east. Unfortunately, he got behind us and got our wind. Since then, he hasn't been on camera one time. Temperatures have warmed up. A lot of deer haven't been on camera in general. They can feed anywhere. They're in the oaks. Things are warm enough now. They can be on the winter wheat that's growing. The clover's starting to rebound. We're hoping by the end of this week, colder temperatures are gonna come in. They're gonna shift their pattern, maybe come back to the standing grain we're at here, or some of the big time foundation clover. It's just so stressful this time of year. Just one little mistake, a coyote coming through, whether the fawns get the zoomies or turkeys come out, can send all the deer cascading back into the woods and kind of reset the night. So clock's ticking. We're almost at the end of the season. Buck has some real potential right there. Good frame on him. He only looks like he's 2, maybe he's 3. Could be run down. Already throwing some splits. Really, really good mass. Kind of have that inside webbing off of his main beams. Give that deer about 3 years and he'll top your heart. They're just shoving each other right here like a couple of school kids. All the other deer, they're just feeding, they're just tussling. They're gonna push themselves down the edge of that corn. It's a younger buck coming out on the edge of the corn. Wait, behind him. It's Claw. Pretty sure. Yep. To the edge of the corn.
26. Gonna come right up the edge of that corn. The younger deer spooking there. He's spooking. He's gonna turn back. We got him. I can't believe it. We have hunted so many years for this deer. 7.5-year-old buck we call Claw. I had an encounter a week ago. He disappeared from the camera. And the warm weather's coming in. I jumped on a flight today to have one day of cold weather. And he came from the south. He's been living on the east. I thought he was going to come right up the edge of this corn. And this younger buck, I think our wind squirrel, he started to walk off. And the Claw just turned. I ranged him 78 yards. Up and down, looks absolutely perfect. Kind of center of the body, but he was facing away. So I think we came right in through the liver, went right out through the lung. Looked like a perfect pass through, and he just dove right into the cedars to the south. Thank you, God. What a long season. We've been so blessed this year. But of all the deer that have been the toughest to kill in my career, mule deer buck was one, 94 straight days of hunting, and Claw. And we're down to the last 5 days of the season. And we got an arrow in him. You know, whenever we shoot a deer on Hunt Masters Farms, we have a tradition. And we send the eyeballs. So, you see right there, we send the eyeballs. No greater feeling. It's a community kill. I'm blessed to pull the trigger, but I tell you, whether it's Justin behind the camera, or it's Griffey, or it's Rob, or it's Sean handling social media, or Sydney who's been out here hunting, or Joe helped me do the farming. Everybody contributes to these deer. And we put our hands on him, we're going to celebrate because he is a special whitetail. And I almost didn't come out today. Literally was going to turn around going to the airport looking at the weather. And I was like, I have one day and then I got to suffer through 4 days. I literally almost pushed my flight back. No greater feeling ever. Well, that's a long shot. All right, a little further. So you see where the blind is right there, but how close he was to hitting this edge, heading up over to that other field. Gotta be some blood here. There's our arrow right there. That is what you want to see as a bow hunter. Perfect pass through. You know, despite finding this arrow and how good I feel about the shot, he was quartering away, so I know I hit him kind of on that last rib. So I think I'm gonna wait till the morning to go after him. This is a big deer. Stick that arrow right there. We'll come back in the morning. It's gonna be a sleepless night, but it's the right thing to do. Dead is dead. We talk about it all the time. Don't push these deer. He's a 7.5-year-old buck. He's smart. He knows where to hide. I'm gonna play it safe. We've come this far. I can wait till the morning.
sleepless night last night. I feel really confident about the shot, but obviously hard quartering away like he was, coming in by that last rib. It looked like from the video footage, when he was running off, he flipped the arrow out, which is why I found it laying over here, completely coated in blood. All this area right here has had a lot of TSI work, so we go down through here, it's thick, it's got a lot of briars in it, deadfalls. My guess is he's gonna be bedded up here. If not, if he goes all the way to the bottom, we have all that warm season grass, and then it's gonna be a lot more difficult to find him. So I know he went under this cedar, and after here, there's no telling. There's blood right there in the snow. Blood right there. Blood right there. It's just pounded with runs in here. All these thick briars. When we came in and did this TSI work, this is what we wanted to promote, get the sunlight to the forest floor, create all this thick brush for them to hide, feel secure. If these woods are completely empty right here and devoid of any underbrush, these deer wouldn't have any reason to come out of the bottom. It's off the main trail now. Here's the blood. It's picking up quite a bit. Crashed through this thick stuff. More blood. You know, we say it all the time. Look at how old that tree stand is right there. Somebody, I don't know, 40, 50 years ago, when they put that stand up, they knew the same thing that we know today. Prime deer habitat, a draw leading up to an agricultural field. Whenever I find those old stands like that, I like to key in on those areas. Those old timers, they know how to hunt deer. Blood's picking up here. There he is. I knew he wasn't gonna go far. Wow. Holy cow. He's got a lot bigger frame than I thought. Look at the similarities to this buck as Rover. Look at him. Unbelievable. Way more mass than I thought. His bases have got to be 6 inches. Unreal. So you got to come over and look at this. So this almost broke his entire beam off. So this would be his inline point. He broke his 3 off mid-November. His brows are a lot like Nosy. The genetics on this farm are unbelievable. 7.5-year-old buck. They don't get to have this kind of mass, this kind of frame without obviously great genetics, but you need age. And it's so tough to get these Illinois bucks to 7.5 years old. But all the work you put in, the TSI work, the planting of the big tine plots, this is where it all pays off. Unbelievable. We are so blessed to be able to do what we do and to put a tag on a ghost.